0, 3, 2, 1, live! And we're live! How you doing, friends? Ernie with the Trader of Futures. Today is Friday! We all love Fridays. To me, though, a Friday is no different than a Tuesday or a Thursday or a Sunday. I mean, every day to me seems the same. That's because I don't go to a job. Does that mean I don't work? No, I work. I work really, really hard. But I work at what I want to work at. On. With. All of those. That's what I do. And I work with whom I choose. I have no boss. Well, that's not true. I got a wife. Not that she's the boss. I let her think she's the boss. Yeah, there's a little element of truth in all of that. So today's Friday. Today's subject is artificial intelligence gone wild. And what I mean by that is that our service, the AI setups, the artificial intelligence setups, and we call it setups because that's what it is. The AI that we live with, that we're friends with, that we created, that we born, it provides us with these scenarios. And we've taught it recently how to provide more scenarios more efficiently. So in other words, before it used to be an arduous task to ask it, hey, can you look at this particular asset and then give us some scenarios that you think might work? And it would do that, but it would take a little while. And then we shortened up that process, and it took a little less time. So then we were able to look at a few scenarios. Then we moved on to other markets besides futures that looked at Forex. Same thing, went through the same process. Our developers started to figure out ways that they could increase the throughput, make it come back with answers much more quickly. Now, equities were always an issue. And but now we've got that problem, at least, I don't want to say solved. I want to say that we've brought it up to a level of that is 100 times better than it used to be. At least 100 times. But now, so now what that means, and I've been promising this for a while, that we are now fully engaged in including equities in the service. You might think, well, so what, Ernie? You got this AI setups thing, big deal. Well, the big deal, if you had been following along, if you were part of this Discord, my Discord group, and watching the trades that I was giving away for nothing, and then if you had been following along the performance that we've been exhibiting, this is real world performance, this is not hypothetical, I actually put trades out there, you would have seen that since opening the room in October of last year, we've only had one losing day. And it was a tiny, tiny loss. One losing day. And now it's, I don't know, how many days since October 4th? 130, something like that? Maybe more? Not bad. That includes equities, Forex, futures, all the Forex. We can scan it all. Now here's the big news. And I was just talking with my partner about this, and that we're charging our developer challenging them, and clear path. This is going to be done in the next 3 to 6 months. Not only will we be able to put out a few of these trades at the same kind of level of quality, and we think the same potential for profit. Now, all I can talk about, I can't say that, hey, this is what it's going to be. I can say that this is what it's been. We've been targeting anything that triggers, any of these setups, these scenarios that actually come to fruition, that are realized. In other words, they're ready to trade, they hit their levels, we get into them. We've been targeting that at least 80% of them, before we release them, from a historical context, that at least 80% are profitable within a certain time frame. All right, so that's these are the parameters that we give the AI. And the AI has delivered. It over-delivered. It's been giving us over 90% profitability. The other thing that we wanted to target is, this is going to sound redundant, target the target. So not only did it have to set up and then move in the direction that we thought, but we gave it a target. And that target had to return at least one standard deviation move. So in other words, whatever the average true range of the asset, it had to return at least one standard deviation of that move, the expected move. And we target 70%. And we've hit that one right on the button. So, but it's actually better than that. So 70% of the 90% of trades that are profitable, actually, is that right? So 90 of the 100% of the trades, 90% are profitable, 70% hit or exceed the target. And what that has resulted in our room is one losing day in the past 130. That's what it comes down to. Now, here's the big news. Here's why the AI is going, the whole concept is just going nuts. And we expect to achieve these goals over the next 3 to 6 months. It's going to take a little while to get all of this stuff, really automated. Because querying or actually interfacing with the AI, we don't have like this clean interface. It's not like this, hey, Joe AI, how you doing today? It doesn't work that way. It's rather complex, but we're solving that. And here's the thing. Instead of being able to release, say, a dozen setups with those same parameters that I've been talking about, we'll be able to release hundreds, maybe even all, the entire market at some point. And then you can choose, hey, what do you want to trade? Now, I don't know how possible that is. I would guess that we would be limited and the performance would vary across various markets depending on the state of that market and the amount of volatility. Because one thing is for sure, as volatility drops, the number of setups don't drop, but the number that get triggered drop. And up to this point, since we've been starting, we've been triggering about 35% of the setups. As volatility has dropped, the number that trigger has been dropping. So we're getting fewer trades. So we're responding by creating more opportunities, more setups. That way we can maintain the number of trades. We'd like to have, and these are primarily swing-based trades. We're also looking at taking the AI and allowing it to look at longer term. So instead of a swing-based trade, when I say swing-based, we target all of our things to hit a target within a period of about 4 days. Now we're looking at longer term, so as much as 5 times that, so 20 days, 30 days outlook. That's another aspect that's being rolled into this. Now, one of the other things that we're doing is we're looking at specific markets. So we thought, man, we could do a lot of stuff with this. We could take specific markets and create a service for that is all based on this and have the same kind of performance characteristics that we have across the broader market. So, for instance, we could look at energy or precious metals. So or indexes. That would be another way to go. But I like the idea of precious metals. Like I have a precious metals service. When's the best time to buy precious metals? And by buying on these triggers, you will maximize your return in the long run. And, for those people that are buying precious metals to accumulate wealth, if you're going to accumulate wealth, you want to be able to purchase it at the best opportune time. And that's what this system would do. It would allow you to choose, hey, should I be buying silver today or gold or whatever? And it will show you the best time to buy for the maximum possible return down the road. So those are the possibilities of this service. So right now the service itself is mainly for active traders. and when I say active traders, people that like to trade every day, it's very possible that you could be a person that is working, and all the setups and everything come out the night before the day that those setups are good for. So you could very easily the night before program in all the orders into your platform, and then just monitor it maybe a couple times during the day, and then anything that is gone, not just to monitor, see where things are. You could have everything set up for the targets and just leave it, and that would give you good results. Some people like to be a little bit more involved, so you have that opportunity. The great part is that we have our room and our trade room with the AI mentor, and that's my partner, and he's actually in the room pretending to be an AI guy. He's a real person, and he's providing mentorship and guidance for people, because there's a lot of new traders that are coming in, and they're taking the service because they haven't been able to get over that hump, right, of the proper way to position size and risk management and all that. And then on top of that, come up with strategies, thinking that, the proper way to find a strategy is to do a bunch of TA bullshit. TA is not a strategy. It is a modeling methodology that you should use in conjunction with a strategy that you've determined through some hypothesis and proven out and found some edge, and then you use TA to model that hypothesis. But if you think that TA by itself is a strategy, you're going to lose. And that's where most people start. And I'm sure that's probably you. So that's what our service does. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner trader or an advanced trader, this service will definitely be good for you. We provide, if you take all the trades, our philosophy is that by taking more trades, you're actually going to be more successful. That doesn't mean bigger, that you have to have a bigger account. But the idea here is we use sort of this anti-fragility or convexity principle, where the overriding strategy is to produce as many non-correlated trades as possible. That is what our AI does. It tries to find strategies, setups that are totally uncorrelated from any other strategy or setup that it finds. And it does this because it is a pattern matching AI machine, a neural network. It can look at, decades and decades of data across dozens or even hundreds and soon to be thousands of assets, and then pattern match or make up these strategies, these patterns, and then find matches that have repeatability. And the result of that is that I would say that almost every trade or every setup that we've put on have been unique. They have a unique code. When you look at the code, that identifies the trade, that tells us something of its composition. So it might be like a little string of, like a cryptographic string, and we look at it and say, oh, another unique strategy. And virtually every one, some of them have repeated over time, but almost every one is different from the next. So what that means is that their returns, the way that found the pattern, or the pattern that it found, is different from the pattern it found for this setup and that setup and that setup, meaning that they're all uncorrelated to one another. So this follows this general philosophy that most hedge funds work on, and that is trade many, multiple, or many non-correlated strategies. And using that principle, you're much more resilient to market fluctuations. You're long and short the market based on all these different strategies. Your drawdowns are minimized because most of these strategies, like I said, they have very specific parameters. That overall, the historical makeup must be good. And so, in other words, that over the long term, they look good. We weed out, and this is all part of the automation process, we weed out outlier moves in a strategy that make it look good when it actually isn't. So we're only looking for those things that are more consistent. And so you put all these together. And so if one has a drawdown, the chances are that the 3 or 4 or 10 other trades that are going on are not having a drawdown, thereby minimizing that drawdown. That's the whole idea and so that's working with the law of large numbers, I guess. So that's, man, I'm not giving away anything. I'm just sort of giving you the overall philosophy on how this thing works. The cost of this is just ridiculously low, and we have it at that low price. We've had to raise that price once already, and it's possible that we may raise it in the future as well. That really depends on the demand that we get. But I am starting to talk to introducing brokers and others, letting them come in and look at the system, let them get comfortable with it, how we operate, making sure that we're completely compliant with all SEC regulations and FINRA laws and all that stuff. I want to make sure that this service is absolutely squeaky clean, that we under-promise and over-deliver, that we're not misleading anybody in terms of the statistics that we give, that we make sure that when we say it's hypothetical, it is, or if it isn't, it isn't, all that stuff. So we're having these introducing brokers monitor the service and see if this is something that they want to introduce to their customers. And that's good because as we get more and more customers and more revenue, we can do more and more stuff. It's been a long time in the making. I mean, the development of this started well over 5 years ago, actually as much as 7 years ago. I got involved with my partner about 5 years ago, not as a service, but just as a sort of a general consultant on the overall philosophy on how we would move this forward. Of course, he's the main architect, and the developer are the people that have realized this kind of vision, and it's all coming together, and it's exciting. It's really friggin' exciting. So it's getting bigger and bigger. We've tried to keep as a small audience in the beginning. So right now we're just around a little under 100 people, 100 customers. Our turnover rate is virtually nil. So that's kind of remarkable in this space because people are seeing value. So if you'd like to get involved, I'm going to create this Valentine's Day special, even though it's the day after Valentine's Day. Let's see. I believe I have a deal up there right now. Now, one of the ways that we maintain our quality and support and expectations of people is that we require everybody to take this training up front. Now, you don't have to. It's a live training. You don't have to attend the training because we do supply a video version of it, so you could always watch it later. But it's important to us that you watch or at least attend the training so that you understand how the setups work, you understand how the service works, the nature of them, how the system is constructed, the support service, the live support that we have. We want all of that up front. And then also to give people good expectation in terms of their portfolio size, risk management, all of that stuff. We encourage people to maybe do a little paper trading up front. And all of that is kind of that. So that is a requirement. Everybody has to take the training. So that's what I can discount. And so I'm discounting that today. And let me just show you what the discount is. So currently the training is 1/2 off. It's $125 if you take the monthly or the quarterly subscription. A yearly subscription, training is free. So it's half price for the training, and then you have the subscription, the monthly or the quarterly or the yearly subscription. So that's the deal right now. You go to traderofutures.com. There it is. And as I said, there's going to be, anytime that you get into, now I've already raised the price once, and the people that got in at the original price, they are grandfathered in, and it would be the same thing with this. I would expect that this service is going to increase in value, and at some point will have to go up in price. So if you get in now, this is the price that you lock in forever. And then as we move along, this is what I'm expecting. It's probably very similar to what we did in the past. In the next 3 to 6 months, naturally the price is going to have to go up. Because compared to other services, we're already, I don't know, 1/4 or 1/5 of the price of other services. On top of that, most of these other services have very large entry fees, which we do not. We just have a minimal training fee. So overall, that's a value. And this is the feedback that I'm getting from the introducing brokers that I'm talking to. And that's one of the reasons why they're so interested in this, because the barrier to entry is so low. And again, that is one of the reasons why we require the training, because that barrier, most people put that big dollar value in there to make the barrier of entry a little bit more difficult to weed out those people that may or may not be serious. Our point is that, everybody wants to be serious. It's just that they need to come in with the right orientation. All right. So anyways, that is the AI setups. And of course, I have the course that I'm offering for volume profile. I'm not going to do it this weekend, but I am going to do it next weekend. I want to get enough people in that class. Typically, I'd like to have 10 people in that live class. So if you're interested in that, code right here for a discount. I know these discounts aren't big, but the value that you're getting is just unreal. So, I can't go wild on these things. And I don't do this, what I'm doing right now here, all that often, trying to promote these services. And I know that it doesn't, once people come in, they're expecting to see me yell at somebody, right? And that's what they come for the show for me to yell at people. Well, mostly because they deserve it. But every once in a while, I have to talk about what keeps the lights on, And so I am going to go, let's see, I'm just checking on where we're at here. 20 people watching. Yeah, see that's what, right? Yeah. That's funny. 20 people watching because I'm not bashing Bitcoin or bashing some idiot. Because that's what people are here to see. Ernie, today, point at the charts with the butterfly. You mean the butterfly knife? Isn't that a beautiful knife? Made by Boker. German knife maker, been around for ages. It's a bally song. Or a butterfly knife. Sharp as hell. You can shave with this thing. There will be more knives in the future that I'll talk about and show. I'm not sure exactly what you want me to point at. What do you think of quant strategies? Well, this is, in fact, a quantitative strategy, through and through. I have, been a fund manager. I have developed strategies, automated systems for quantitative traders or hedge funds. I have been involved in the back end of the business as well, being the chief architect of a very large company, a Fortune 50, where I basically oversaw the build out of Wall Street itself, the exchanges, most of the hedge funds, the investment banks. So yeah, and I'm telling you that this here is the real deal. This is exactly what you would expect to see in the biggest hedge funds. Something that their quantitative astrophysicists, their scientists would be creating. This is, in many ways, superior, I think, to a lot of that stuff. I mean, a lot of that work, I think, you stumble upon stuff too, and I think that that's the case here. We stumbled upon a technology, a way of doing things that sort of combined, long-term knowledge, advice from mentors and other things, and then try different things, and then it started to click and get better and better. And so we kept on improving. Chris says, I have a friend who is obsessed with one he developed, but they seem to not capture potential risk very well. That's fine, whatever. Like I said, we have stumbled into. I hesitate to say it stumbled. We took the right steps, right? But had we not taken those steps, we could have taken an equally valid number of steps and not gotten to where we are. But we did, and that's why I say we somehow walked on to the right path, and then it became obvious that we were going down the right path, and so we continued on that path, and it's borne fruit. How you doing, Surfing Goat? Bob, Mustafa, High Voltage, Renee, Frank, how you doing? And James. Renee says he's joining the AI as soon as I got some spare cash. Do you one-on-one think or swim, please? On Thinkorswim, yeah. We support Thinkorswim. We support TradeStation, Interactive Broker, and Daniel's Trading. Anything, any of the platforms that you use, we support. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we have ultimate expertise in the minutiae of every single one of these platforms, but enough that we can show you exactly what you need to do. And most of it is something that's aside from the platform anyways. Surfing Goat says, I'm here for the raging. It wants to come out! But this last 24 hours, I've been concentrating on some other things that have gotten me enraged. Let me tell you, unbelievably enraged. Like, for instance, this morning, I saw this story about the New Jersey governor who's going to sign a law where they're going to tax the rain. I mean, what the fuck? They're going to tax the friggin' rain? The next, they're going to tax the air that we breathe. Seriously. I mean, already, New Jersey is probably one of the, if not one, well, I'd say it's in the top 3 taxed states, highest taxed states. New York, New Jersey, California, and of course Massachusetts right behind it, but not quite as bad. I mean, I feel blessed being in Massachusetts compared to New York or New Jersey or California, for Christ's sake. Jesus, tax the friggin' rain. How stupid is that? I mean, unbelievable. All I can think of is, the song by the Taxman by the Beatles. I am the Taxman. Oh yeah, the Taxman. I had some of the lyrics. Let's see. Not there. Where are some of the lyrics for the Taxman? They were so apropos. well, let's just look at it. Taxman lyrics by the Beatles. This is an old song. Let me tell you how it will be. Okay, where he says, if you drive a car, I'll tax the street. If you try to sit, I'll tax the seat. If you get too cold, I'll tax the heat. If you take a walk, I'll tax your feet. And now it is, going to a whole new level. I'm suggesting that if it starts to rain, I'll tax your eave. The eave like on your house. That's the idea. If you know something about the law, that will make sense. You want to live, I'll tax the air you breathe. So those are the two lines that I think should be added to the tax man. And it goes on. The best part, right there, it says, don't ask me what I want it for if you don't want to pay some more, 'cause I'm the tax man. Yeah, I'm the tax man. Unbelievable. So, yeah, there's where my rage is coming out. Taxation without representation. Just tax the hell out of everything, even things that you can't put a finger on. Tax the rain. So people are going to be hoping for little or no rain. And then it will start, oh, Jesus. Just can't believe it. And that's what you get from liberal governors, liberal politicians. They want to tax everything. Because they believe the government knows how to spend your money better than you do. That's ultimately what it comes down to. They believe that you're a fucking retard and that they are brilliant and you are nothing but a serf and they need to handle you from cradle to grave. That's what they believe. Fucking dildo. Give me your money so I can take care of you, asshole. Unbelievable. So there's my rage. That's my rage for the day. What's my hobby other than trading, if you may ask? I play pool. I am a pool player. I like 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, straight pool. I like one pocket. But primarily I play 9-ball most of the time. I haven't had much time. I do a tournament once a week on Tuesdays. And so I got rid of my table a while ago so I could make some room for the grow rooms here. And so my game has gone right off the hill. And I'd really like to, I need to get rid of these grow rooms. Well, they're attached to my daughter. So I need to get rid of the daughter, get rid of the grow rooms, so that I can put a pool table back in here and get back up to speed. If you use volume profile for Google, what do you see? There's a good question. All right, let's take a look at Goog and volume profile. Boy, this is taking a long time. What the hell's going on here? Something wrong with TradingView? About an hourly chart. What the hell? Come on. Let's try reloading the whole thing. Reload. There we go. All right, so what do I see? Long term, in the next couple of months, I see diminishing resistance as we go higher. I see increasing resistance as we go lower by virtue of the fact of these. However, if we do go lower, I think that we'll hang out there for some time. So I see some propensity for us to, hang out in this area for a while and create a bigger, more robust or more mature balance because there's the market has decided that there's a lot of value, particularly down here in the just above 1,000. And also right here at 1120. So we may be out here for a while, but if we can manage to move up a little bit, and particularly if we can break that 1175 range, I see new highs coming to Goog. That's how I would play this. That's how this all looks. End of year, 5K subscribers, over or under? I would say over. Definitely over. How you doing, Jeff? Jeff's in Israel. Daughters are married, off at usually age 20 to 23. Yeah, my daughter is 26. She has a boyfriend. I don't know if they're going to get married. But we're not in any real hurry. But the wife and I would like to do something with this house and update it so that we can sell it, maybe move down to Florida, someplace warm. Google will get hammered by William Barr. Stay away from it. I'm not sure exactly how that correlates. What does William Barr have to do with Google? I do not get that. He mentioned it in a hearing. He wants to know how some big Silicon Valley's companies get their money. Well, I mean, they earn it for the most part. They're in this kind of cabal, all the big tech companies these days, where it seems that a lot of social justice warriors have sort of taken over the reins there, which is very unusual. I'm not sure exactly how that happened. Kind of in cahoots with the media and others. So I don't know. How do they get their money? I really don't know. Don't care. I'm not of the mind of holding back any company. The idea of these guys being monopolies, I think, is ridiculous. Jacob says, why would anyone move to Arizona when there is such a thing as Florida? I know. Well, first of all, in Florida, you have the ocean. Arizona, no ocean. You got a lot of desert, and the desert can be beautiful. I agree. It gets way too hot. Although it's a dry heat, so we're supposed to like it, right? The humidity and the bugs are an issue in Florida, but if you're near the ocean, it's not as bad. It's when you start getting inland that it can start really getting nasty, and some of those monster mosquitoes. But I would agree, Florida, I think, has it all over Arizona, for sure. I would say that I don't want to be near Miami. I'd like to be a little bit north of Miami, but definitely southern Florida. Let's see. Where would I like to be? I'm looking at this every single friggin' day. Yeah, we'll bring it online up here. So I also have this new setup where I can do some sort of draw and talk type of thing. Look, watch this. See, I've got my graph paper here, and I can draw pretty pictures. You know, draw a chart, illustrate stuff. So I don't know if that's going to help. So if we look at Florida, Florida looks something like this. Right? And then you have the Keys, kind of like that. That should be. That should go the other way. Watch what I can do with this. This is really cool. The autofocus on this thing's going nuts. That's cam 2. Let's transform that and rotate it. There we go. Yeah, this autofocus is kind of weird. You have to keep your hand in there. So there's Florida. And I like, I really do like the Keys. But I think I want to be right around here near Lake Okeechobee. And, you know, some of the cities around there, some of the coastal cities that you'll find over there are things like right here you'll see West Palm Beach. Of course, Miami is right there. And then the Keys down here. So I've been looking at houses mainly in this area here, as close to the shore as I can. I'm also looking on the Gulf side as well. The Gulf side is cool. The water is calmer, maybe a little bit warmer. The Atlantic side, I like the Atlantic water, you know? I like the roughness of it. I like the brutality. Wonder why that keeps on happening. That autofocus problem. You take it away, then it wants to autofocus. Interesting. So another good reason for being in this area of Florida is that there are a lot of good pool halls. Yep, I choose my location based on the quality of pool halls, especially on the East Coast. There's some great pool halls. Over in Fort Myers, there's some, and that's a good area. Tampa area, I'm not as hot on, although I like, what is it called? Indian Shores. Indian Shores is pretty cool. Is that what it's called? I stayed down there before. I really like the Keys, but it's just, you know, too far away. Just too far away. So I think so there's Miami right here. I think a good compromise. All these little red dots are houses that meet my criteria. Zillow is just a great program because I can draw this borderline. See, I've drawn these blue lines. That's the border that I drew. And as long as anything sits inside of that border that I drew with my criteria, it will identify the house. And houses are going pretty good. Now, part of my criteria is that there has to be at least 2 acres of land. And you'd be surprised. There's a lot of places. I found a house this morning with 5 acres. And it's right in this area right over here, right outside of West Palm Beach. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah. Now this little this area here, right here, this has some sort of lion preserve. What is it called? Lion Country Safari, or Lion Safari. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but the house that I was looking at is right over here. This guy. It's got 5 acres. The lot is 5 acres. The house is just old. But that's a nice piece of property. I've got 5 acres here in Sharon. A little over 5 acres. And to have that kind of land, having land is awesome. One of the problems that I can see right away, though, is we got some fresh water across the road. And when there's fresh water, you know what that means in Florida. Alligators! Not sure if the, my dogs would take too kindly to some alligators. They might get a little bit too brazen. But that's a nice piece of property. A lot of people around the area have horses. That's kind of, the only problem with this house, no pool. Got to have a pool. So that's one possibility. And that's right outside, like I said, right outside of West Palm Beach, in between West Palm Beach and Lake Okeechobee. I don't want to be right inside the clusterfuck, right on the shore. As long as I'm within, 10 minutes, 20 minutes of the shore, I'm okay. Jacob says, Florida, like California, has generally good-looking people. A nice bonus, yeah. Because they like to sun themselves and be in the warmth all year round and show off their beautifully tanned bodies and stay fit. That might be some extra incentive for me to lose these extra pounds. But I can tell you right now that there's some fantastic pool halls in this area. Really, some really nice places. West Palm Beach, all of these places are great. I mean, it's just all beach. This entire coast is just beach, 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 beach. Delray Beach. Lots of golfing down here. Lots of barrier islands. Hollywood, Florida. There you go. Although that's probably not that great of an area. It's too deep inside of the city-like shit. Miami's fun. I liked Miami. And I like South Beach on Miami. That was a lot of fun. And, but I would agree, Frank, with Jacob about California having generally good-looking people. I was out there last year, And that is generally true. The people out there are damn good looking, but it's way too crowded. Way too friggin' crowded. All right, so we're getting near the 1 hour mark. Today, I want to just finish up and say that the alerts, we're having a deal today. We're also having a deal right there on volume profile, $50 off. That is going to be good for next week's class. Volume profile demolishes hyperwave. I forgot to change that. I have to stay on top of things here. Volume profile does demolish hyperwave. Hyperwave is total bullshit. It's like made up shit. All right. That's all the bashing I'm going to do for the end of the week, but I will put out some videos tonight and possibly this weekend. And we'll see if maybe I'll do a live stream on Sunday. Wake people up. Wake them up! All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I have to find... How do I get out of this thing? There we go. Where is the exit? There we are. Wow, 56 people. That's not bad. No, that was an old one. That was yesterday. What the hell is this? View the channel. There's 20 people watching now. That is pathetic, man. How do I get more people on? I don't want fake people. I want real people. I found that the only real way to get real people on, at least in this environment, at least now, has been to... see, I have to resort to clickbaiting again. All right. Next week is going to be clickbait galore. Like pussy galore, it's going to be clickbait galore. And maybe some pussy galore too. Go to the studio. Everything's moving slow today. Live events. Control room. Stop streaming. All right, now I'm ready to stop streaming. Again, I want to thank everybody for showing up here. Have a great day. Bring some chicks on. I don't have any chicks. I got my daughter, but I'm not gonna parade my daughter around. Jacob says Democrat Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is on removing existing border barriers. I could support it. Fucking bitch. Holy shit. What is wrong with these people? Maybe I'll start a political show. Maybe I'll just start, just going totally Alex Jones on everybody. Not quite Alex Jones. It would be my own thing. Be more like, who would it be like? I'm trying to think, who would I be like? Probably closer to the Trumpster, you know? if I was going to do something. With a tinge of, I don't know. Man, there's so few people that I want to emulate these days. God, that's sad. That there aren't people in politics and out there that you can look up to. Except for some of the more traditional ones, you know? I'll have to think about that. I'll think about that, and then maybe I'll have one show a week where I just go full on, bashing the evil Democrats and their socialist ideals. Because we're all about being libertarians and capitalists here. That's it. Now, it's time to go. I want to thank you very much. Thank you much. Really? Goodbye.